What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 5th week of the Swiss stage of the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. My name is Orion. I'm joined in the casting booth tonight by Auxie, and we have three best of 5 series to bring you tonight, all of which are going to be so important for making it into those prize playoffs. Auxie, how are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling great. It's been a few months since we've had some new streams. Of course, we were both at that live final last split as well. But it's great to be back. Great to see so many new teams as well as old. They're battling out, and it's looking very, very fierce at the top of this leaderboard.
It really is, and I guess we can allude to that leaderboard as well and name drop some teams. We've got a familiar face at the top of the standings at the moment in Roehampton Monster Shop. They were the top seed going into the playoffs. I believe they were even unbeaten in both Newell and other UK competitions as well. They have lost a series this time. They're currently 11-1. Below them is Loughborough, who have been having quite the resurgence in the UK. They're currently 10-2, and both Roehampton and Loughborough already booking their places to the prize playoffs. Now, below them, we have UEA alone on 9-3. We feel like they only really need to win one more series, and they will too be heading to that prize playoff bracket. And then below them, we have a tie on 8-4 for Kent, Lincoln, Warwick, Lancaster, Imperial, and the Glasgow Grizzlies, who we'll talk a little bit more about later. And then, Auxie, do you want to tell us what's going on in the bottom half of the table? It's a pretty similar story, right?
Yeah, so Glasgow, they've actually managed to pick up the 9th place. They're on 8 points as opposed to the other teams you listed off who are on 9 points. Then on tied with Glasgow on 8 are Aston, the Beanie Weenies, Loughborough's C team, UCL, Loughborough's B team. They've managed to end up on the same record here. Manchester and Maluke, who will also be playing in the series we've got lined up against Glasgow. So again, it's really heated. 1 or 2 wins could decide whether or not you manage to sneak into that top 8. There's teams on 9, 8, and 7 wins that haven't managed to secure it. We all worked out that 10 wins will pretty much secure your spot, and 9 should all but guarantee you one as well, as long as you've got the tie breaks in your favor.
Yeah, I think that is the story. 10 points should secure you that top 8. So anyone on 8-4, ideally 2 wins. Anyone on 7-5, it's unlikely, but if they do go 3-0 on the night, they could make it in. Teams like Manchester, who are in those prize playoffs in the last season, made it in 8th place. So someone could have a really good night. I think Lincoln actually in the winter split were outside of the prize playoffs going into the final week of Swiss. They had a 3-0 week, beating some of the top teams, and actually made it into that bracket. So really anything can happen. But the first match we're going to focus on tonight is between the Glasgow Grizzlies and Lincoln B, also known as Maluke. So Glasgow Grizzlies currently 8-4 on 8 points, so they do not have that extra seeding point. Currently 9th place. Maluke also 8-4 with 8 points, but they're way down in 16th because let me get this stat right, opponent match win percentage is much lower, i.e. the opponents that they've been up against have been much easier to play against. So that is why Glasgow is higher, because they have faced tougher opposition and have ended up on the same record.
Yeah, it's an interesting tiebreaker, but I do think it's a very good idea. You know, you can compare. It's not just about individual performance; it's how well you've done against the top teams. You know, you're looking at the percentage wins you've got against other people, and overall, I like how it's shaped up. You know, you've got, like we mentioned, you've got a couple of Lincoln teams, you've got 3 Loughborough teams. They've all managed to get into the top 16, so no doubt you'll have some of these teams playing off against college mates in some form of playoffs. Obviously, like you said, they want to make those prize playoffs. They want to work towards that land. There's prize money on the line further down the line. But yeah, it's the here and now. It's just tonight that you really need to switch on, win a few very good series, and put yourself in a position where you can continue to try and steamroll this event.
Well, I'm actually unfamiliar with both of these teams. I assume that you are as well, Orksy?
Yeah, I recognize a few players, but I haven't looked at too many of these teams too much. So it's gonna be interesting getting acclimatized and seeing how these guys shape up against each other.
All right, I think we're ready. Enough preamble. I think we can get into it. Glasgow Grizzlies versus Maluke. Let's get into game one and see what that has to offer and see what this series looks like, see what the teams look like, because, as I say, these are two brand new teams to me, at least. In game one, here we are.
Yeah, the first goal, the first offensive, of course, these guys, they've played several weeks of Rocket League as part of the New competition, but even on this stream, on this evening, they want to make sure they're locked in and ready. Goalie Monkey Boy away, he wants something early on, but not going to be the case. Instead, Maluke, maybe they have the first chance to score this first offensive, just touched off of Mal, and now Meaty Pig 999 with this, forcing it past one. Has a bit of boost, but it's stolen away, and once more, there's nothing too dangerous from either side. They're just getting in the groove of it, trying to size out their opponents.
Yeah, and I would say that this first win is, or first game, first series for both of these teams, is probably the most important one of the night. Like, if you want to make it into those prize playoffs, you want to start out on the front foot. Just get that positive mental mindset in there, get into a winning mindset, and just push forwards from there. If you lose the first one, you're not going to be feeling as confident. The pressure's going to start to mount, and it's going to be really hard for you to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get going again in the second series. But we're only in game one. We've had the first minute, and there have been no early goals, as we see a bump on the back line, but no offense to follow up. The cavalry not really charging forwards, as it were, but it's typical game one vibes, really. Both teams just feeling each other out, seeing where their weaknesses are. We might see a double touch here, though, from goalie Monkey Boy, and that's a lovely save from DK, turning it into the corner. Mal in possession with 100 boost, but gets blocked out in the midfield by Ashy.
It seemed like Maluke might have had a bit of a counter-attack, but good midfield awareness from the Grizzlies to just turn this around and again throw it back on their opponents. They seem to be on the back foot more than anything. Maluke again going to have to just try and keep this one out their boxes. The Grizzlies, they've got 4 shots to the none from the Lincoln side, and now it's just put into the blue half. The Grizzlies and goalie Monkey Boy seems to be a star player so far, just throwing it downfield, maybe put some pressure on the opponents. They could fumble here. DK does make a bit of a mistouch. Ashley goes for the shot, and DK off to the side. Great to keep this one out of harm's way, but only just off the bar. It's off the post somehow, maybe. Yes, goalie Monkey Boy. He's going to get there, and just after 2 minutes, the first goal of this series and this first game will go to the Glasgow Grizzlies.
Yeah, and I mean, the shooting so far from Glasgow has looked clinical as well. Just power driving shots on there, on target, asking questions of the defense. That time, that question was unanswered, and first blood does go to Glasgow here. But it only took one real convincing bit of offense, which is slightly worrying for the defense of Maluke here. They weren't really tested up until that point, and when they finally were, they didn't really respond well to it. But now they have some offense of their own. DK, though, is going to have to backflip there as Liam comes forward. He's got it over the top of one as well. Mal popped it up. Ashy might get there, but it's over the top, stretching goalie Monkey Boy. Mal over to the left, might be able to get the second touch, blocked out by Liam, but pressure is mounting for Maluke. Best offensive chance they've had so far, just keeping that pressure on, and almost leads to a shot, but it's a bit of a P-roller at that near post, so nothing doing there.
And just as the goalie Monkey Boy picked up the safety medal for 3 saves, and I didn't realize that Maluke actually had 3 shots. Well, they've had 3 of them put then at goalie Monkey Boy, and instead we're going to see, what's that got to be, like the 8th or 9th shot, it seems, for the Grizzlies. The pressure really mounting for them. Ashy as well, instead the 50 to Liam 22. Wants a teammate central. Oh, going all the way was the idea just at the end. Instead, Ashy can again collect this, but stripped off possession by Meaty Pig, and DK as well, working in tandem just to force this downfield. Now Mal into the corner. Someone has to get there. It will be goalie Monkey Boy, and let's just follow up on this, charge it downfield, and Meaty Pig gonna miss this ball. It's maybe just in the corner, bouncing around anyone looking for any sort of touch after a clearance or pressure on goal. DK wants to charge in. There's at least 2 cars gone from the Grizzlies side for that ball there on the back foot for just a period here, but actually what a strong clear that is. Gets rid of all sorts of pressure and maybe puts them in a good scoring chance too.
Yeah, Glasgow definitely so far look to be the more comfortable
Just like
team as
that.
they do get a bit of a freebie there from Liam off the sidewall. But yeah, despite pressure from Malachi, Glasgow, they're calm. They're collected. They're dealing with whatever Malachi are throwing at them. And I think that that's kind of dictating the series. And to pick up like a free goal like that, I feel like that's the way that the series will kind of end up going if Malachi doesn't really kind of shift into top gear and start asking some questions. That was one there, and the golden opportunity squandered, you have to say. It's DK onto the back ball, but nobody really following up. I think that's another thing that Malachi are lacking is just a lack of pressure, ultimately, when they go forward, sending that ball forwards deep into enemy territory, but ultimately no one there to follow up and make the important touches to keep the offensive pressure going.
Yeah, the ability to know when to commit and then when to just play it safe is so important. You don't want to get shut out. You want to, you go for at least one goal, even if you end up conceding the first game, but not quite enough pressure here from Maluke to merit a goal for them. They've got 5 shots, but it's been easy enough saves for the Grizzlies, and now with only 10 seconds left, Liam should be able to bring this upfield. Round 1, goalie Monkey Boy wants the connection. Instead, Ashley, you can just keep this touch off to the side. DK streaking in, that could be a chance. That's lofted well too high. Goalie Monkey Boy clears it out, and a 2-0 victory for the Glasgow Grizzlies in this first game. It seemed like relatively light work for them. There was a stint where it seemed, maybe there was a bit of pressure, but no, they were definitely able to keep that away and make sure that they kept that goal against 2-0.
Yeah, I think it was pretty light work for Grizzlies in the end. I'm almost surprised that the scoreline wasn't even more in their favor, as they outshot by 12-5.
My God.
So yeah, 2-0 I feel like is actually quite kind to Malachi. It's not to say that Malachi weren't providing opportunities of their own, because they were. They definitely had periods where they were keeping pressure up, but they weren't able to do it consistently enough to really unsettle the Glasgow Grizzlies. And I think we'll see what happens going into the second game. Malachi could take this as their wake-up call in the series now, because if Glasgow continue to be on cruise control like this, then we could be heading towards a swift victory for them. We'll see what Malachi can do in response.
Of course, and it sounds so weird to think, but game 2 at a best of 5 is where it can all change. It either puts it will put Glasgow in a position to just get ready to sweep, and they have to force a reverse sweep from Malachi, or Malachi, they can tie it up, they can show they're still a fighting force and they're still able to contest with the best. And Liam 22 just to push it downfield first, not going to be what he wants. Ashy again off to Liam, but this is stripped away by Mal. There's no one central for Malachi, and instead Liam M22, it's a goalie Monkey Boy, the 50, the dunk even won't be there. Mal, that's on target. Ashy will be able to keep this away. No, that's going to be just a very small mistake. Mal didn't get the initial shot right where they wanted. Instead, could get the recovery, get the landing, and this follow-up after the botch touch from Ashy meant that, well, we're going to see Malachi get their first goal in this series. Not quite in the way we expected, but a goal is a goal and a lead is a lead, and that's exactly what Malachi have managed to get themselves.
Yep, Malachi finally on the board in this game and in the series, and it is a lead, albeit an early one. But let's see if that inspires them here to actually try and push forwards a bit more than they were in game 1, where the offense was a little bit lackluster, and they could have definitely been threatening Glasgow a little bit more. But I do expect Glasgow to continue where they left off on offense. They look very strong in controlling the midfield, controlling the boost, and just peppering the net with shots and really asking questions of the defense.
And again, like you say, yeah, it's just about, putting those shots on goal, starting to create pressure. That would have been a wonder goal if Liam could get the final touch to it, but instead it will just stay along this orange backboard. The few shots coming in, they're not too threatening, but a miss like that could spell disaster if that's a good follow-up. Not going to be the case, as Mal can stay with it. Goalie Monkey Boy again instead wants to turn this one around, and just a bit of ping pong here. No one quite able to get a grasp on it. Follow up again. Goalie Monkey Boy can get that first 1 or 2 touches, then is unable to really follow up, get that final touch, turn it into a threatening shot. There we go. There's an opportunity, and now a safety medal coming out for a Maluke player. Liam with this wants the final touch. No, off the back ball. Goalie Monkey Boy open net. He's missed. Oh no! Ashy can get the pull shot. Goalie Monkey Boy will get the credit, but it was all Ashy's work here, finding a way to put this ball into the back of the net. Oh my goodness. Well, that's something that you don't want to look back on in the replay if you're goalie Monkey Boy. The miss could have been disastrous, but no, a teammate there ready to follow up, and now a tied game.
Just a fantastic bit of chaos there, wasn't it? The open net shot onto the post and then the pull shot to finish it. But we do have an equalising goal now for Glasgow. Malakay haven't been able to keep up the pace that they were able to introduce right at the start of Game 2, and they're going to have to be careful here because one person that I want to highlight for Glasgow is Liam. Looks very mechanical, very pacey, in control of the game as well. Very good at setting up his teammates. So we see a potential ceiling pinch there from goalie Monkey Boy, and it does get it, but not quite on target, but right idea for sure. Now looking for DK, who was just going to end up on the backboard. That was a lovely drop down, but touch away back to the midfield. Meaty Pig with a miss. DK back in receipt of possession there, and it's going to get the follow-up as well. 0 boost to work with, but still just pushing it in front of goal. But we see once again, just too far back on Malakay, right at the midfield line, getting beaten to it by Liam, who, going for another wonder goal, couldn't quite get the flip underneath. But I think that is what is plaguing Malakay at the moment. They're getting forward into really good areas, but they're just not, they don't have the presence there, and they don't have the confidence to follow each other up.
Honestly, I think we've seen a bit of that from the Grizzlies as well. You know, they've been in those positions, but it's getting that final touch, turning it into a proper shot. Either they're not pushed forward enough, or they're pushed too far forward and can't quite react. So it's just the spacing, getting used to how your teams are playing on the particular day. They're still looking strong, and it is a tied game, so you don't know. One goal could still decide this. It gives Grizzlies, you know, that extra step towards finishing up in a very, very nice win, or alternatively Malakay keeping them in the series. And that's a nice double commit response from goalie Monkey Boy. Instead, Ashy can get a touch of this as well. There'll only be one defender left, and Meaty Pig's gonna miss this. Ashy can put it in!
Oh,
Doesn't even need to. Well, there we go. Yet another goal going in off the car of a Malakay player, and Mal in chat as well. Just gonna say hands up, you know, that's on me. I got it, don't worry. But, well, yeah, there's only 90 seconds left, and it seems to be a relatively close game. There's been more pressure from the Grizzlies, but Malakay, they can push it out. They can still make sure that they're in the opponent's half. It's just that final third and making sure they are clinical. It gives themselves at least those opportunities to be clinical and showcase their prowess.
I mean, even if you're creating opportunities for yourself.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Are they returning a favour?
Don't worry about it.
We're good. We're not getting an own goal at each end. That would be silly. But yeah, that was complete capitulation there from Malakay. You can't make mistakes like that if you want to be winning series like this and potentially making it into that top 8 prize playoffs. And they had the lead in this game as well, and for a while they looked comfortable with it, but now Glasgow look to be back in the driver's seat. There's an open net for goalie Monkey Boy as well. He is gonna not quite find it, as Meaty Pig with the pre-jump manages somehow to keep it out. Are they going to get scored on here at the other end? Liam with a pre-jump, able to just turn it to the side. It's in the corner. Meaty Pig following up, doing a much better job of getting to that ball first, getting the 50-50s. Mal again. DK now just constantly putting the pressure on, but finally a clear coming through, and it might be too little, too late for Malakay.
Oh, and that's going to be kept away as well. It's only a 1-goal lead. There's still a chance. I mean, I have in games seen goalie Monkey Boy pull off and score double or triple resets, and he managed to miss nearly an open net bounce dribble with just a single defender left. So we have to hope these final few seconds can be clutched up, and well, the clock will hit 0. The ball will hit the floor. The Grizzlies will manage to put themselves in series point as well. They're 2-0 ahead in games, and that series, well, sorry, this series isn't quite over, but that game felt, at least the second half, a decimation. You know, the scoreboard does not quite reflect it. I said halfway through it that it seemed kind of balanced. It seemed like Malakay, they were doing something and still had those opportunities, but no, the Grizzlies shut them down towards the end there.
Yeah, they really did. Early lead for Malakay, and ultimately weren't able to convert it into victory. That time, Grizzlies, the offense was even more so than in the first game. They had 15 shots compared to Malakay's 5, I want to say. So going into game 3 now, this could be potential sweep point for Grizzlies here. We'll see. Malakay definitely took a step up from games 1 to 2. Can they do the same here from games 2 to 3, or are Glasgow going to put a stop to this series by winning it at the first time of asking?
It'd be a surprise to see Malachi win it, you know, even win a game, but it's Rocket League. There's always room for surprises. I held my breath there just as that ball dropped down. I was thinking, there might be a shot on here. Ashley just turns the wrong way, not quite ready, and instead has to turn around. They can't get there. Meaty Pig down the middle. Easy enough. Go-ahead goal there.
Yeah, another early goal for Malachi. So we are in the same situation as we found ourselves in Game 2. Where Malachi have the lead, but there is still an entire game's worth of Rocket League left to play. An entire game's worth of Rocket League for Glasgow to try and find a way back in this. I have to feel that a second goal for Malachi would give them more of a cushion. Build their confidence up and just make them feel a little bit more comfortable. Not constantly under threat of an equalizing goal. They're not going to get it as well. Mal had a golden opportunity but couldn't quite wrap his car around the ball to get it on target. Goalie Monkey Boy has 0 boost and is going to have to retreat from this one, just picking up the pads in the midfield. Liam with a touchdown, but he's gifted it to DK. Doesn't quite get the follow-up, and Meaty Pig caught out as well. It's going to be a counter-attack here for Glasgow. Mal sends it high, and Meaty Pig doesn't have any boost to get up for it. Onto the backboard, Ashy going to be following up and a miss as well. 2 players misses, complete chaos. The pinch goes down and in. Mal trying to get a second own goal in the series. Thankfully, doesn't have enough boost to reach it. But Glasgow definitely looking like they're hotting up on offense, as we have seen in games 1 and 2.
Of course, again, it takes them just a bit to get into it. They're still yet to register a shot, but we've seen 3 from Malachi, 1 from each player. And again, this ball, it's just kept in this blue half. No one really able to force it out. Liam in an awkward position. Ashy can get to it. Not much boost, so it seems like for the majority of this game, actually, that Malachi have had the boost advantage. Now the flick pass to a player, that will be goalie Monkey Boy, but that will also be a bump just out the way. Now Liam, with this, wants just to tap it central. Anyone on the blue side? No one able to get there. Instead, again, Malachi, the clear out, not quite going to be an effect. Ashy fakes everyone! That was beautiful. That's a highlight reel player and a half. Oh my goodness. Just watch this one back in awe.
Oh, that's dirty.
Oh,
that is dirty.
Ashy take a bow.
Just, I mean, the first player just straight up missed, right? But to have the intelligence to know the player in front of you is going to jump for that, expecting a flick, and to just gently drop the ball off the front of your car and then go past everyone else. Yeah, that's pretty big brain, 200 IQ plays there from Ashy. Goes over another one, but immediately deleted from the field as Meaty Pig flips straight into him. Here comes Liam. I don't think he has the boost to get back up to that one. Definitely not. Ashy goes for the shot. Fortunate miss, but goalie Monkey Boy there to pick up the pieces. And now giving possession away to Malachi to get the ball clear.
We're just seeing every night. Oh, actually, there's more demos coming in here. I'm liking this physicality from Malachi. They can interrupt my train of thought if they're able to keep it up and keep some pressure on. It's a tight game still, only about the halfway mark, and Ashley can loft this up. Meaty Pig with a decent clear. Goalie Monkey Boy, a good position, but what a dunk, actually. Goalie Monkey Boy still stays with it, manages to get the boost to spawn, but doesn't read the boost, and instead this falls DK with a nice shot, but Liam puts it away again. You said Liam, a player to watch, hasn't done loads in this game so far, but still has a save, managing to put his team in a good position again. Has this ball, could be a difference maker with this drop down pass, and no, there'll be a great block, a good read from Malachi, and again, putting it downfield. The counter attack is what they seem really good at. They want to work with it as long as they can just make sure that the pressure doesn't stay sustained from the Grizzlies. Malachi are really good at turning this one around and putting pressure on their opponents. A single shot being recorded by the Grizzlies and 5 from Malachi. So a low shooting game so far, but there's still plenty of time for that to change.
Yeah, and Malachi once again on offense, but we're seeing just the entire back third is just being given to Glasgow whenever Malachi get forwards. They're just a bit too keen to either do a full rotation or they just get starved on boost. I'm not sure what it is, but Malachi just seem unable to hold a high offensive line against the Grizzlies. Mal drops one down into the midfield, looking for a teammate, but once again, nobody there. 1 minute left now. Glasgow, if they find a goal here, I have to say that feels like it could be series over. So Malachi need to be the ones to score if they want to stay alive in the series and really actually try and make a game of it. And they are going to get the goal as well. The drop down finds DK, who slams it into the top right-hand corner using the back of that skyline.
My goodness, and again, yeah, DK streaking in there, boost down. The Malika's boost usage has been so much higher than the Grizzlies all series long, but it's going to work out for them. They've got this pressure. They've got 10 shots now recorded as well. DK can stay with it. Just putting this towards the blue box. Anything of danger, Goalie Monkey Boy, no, wants to clear this one out. Now back to Ashy, who has slight touch downfield. Goalie Monkey Boy stays with it. A skimming touch over. Will there be anyone? It will be Ashy, but that will be Ashy off the crossbar. Not able to just put that one home. Instead, Goalie Monkey Boy tasked with an easy enough save, but it's where the ball goes after the touch, and well, right back onto his bonnet. Now it falls down. Liam with the ball has to try and chip it over Meaty Pig, who's going to make a good use of the chain dashes on the side of the wall that he's showcased a couple times this series, actually. Now Goalie Monkey Boy wants the reset, doesn't get it, I don't believe, and Liam gets a demo, has this push to the side. Ashley needs a good 50. That would be the case. Clock ticks down. Goalie Monkey Boy wants to stay with it. No, Liam has to just let that drop, and instead we're going to see a 2-1 now lead in this series. It's still in the favor of the Grizzlies with Maluke. They're not going to be swept just yet. That's still good for, of course, the tiebreakers, looking at game differential. And they've shown that they can compete with a team like the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Maluke taking another step up here in Game 3. Finally getting the win when it mattered most. And Game 4, do they continue? Do they continue this meteoric rise through the series in how they're playing? Or do Glasgow go, okay, that game was a troll. We were trolling. We're still going to win the series. We got this under control. Definitely got this under control, guys. Just kind of reassuring themselves. I don't know. I don't know now. I was firmly in the mindset that the Grizzlies would be taking this in a sweep. Now I'm not sure. Maluke look good, but are they reverse sweep material? Let's find out.
I don't even want to worry about the reverse sweep. That's such a foreign concept at this point. I just want them to be able to string together a couple goals here and stay competitive in this Game 4. Then the mind game and everything come out, and they seem more than competitive, actually, again, with DK slinging it around like this. And Liam got a bit of a softer touch to the side. DK's ready, pouncing enough air roll to just clang that off the corner of the car. And wow, what a great go-ahead goal 7 seconds in.
Yeah, 3 games in a row. We've had a really early goal for Maluke. I think it was about 20 seconds in Game 2. And yeah, about 9 seconds and then 7 seconds. So doing well to get that early goal and give themselves the best opportunity in the game going forwards. But they have also been equalised on twice, and it was only in the last game that they were then able to find yet another go-ahead goal and ultimately won that game. But we'll see how long they can hold on for, or if they can break the curse and actually get a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, 2-goal lead. That would be new territory for them. It puts them in, again, a really good position. It means that they're just able to not worry about a single goal breaking down everything that they've built so far in the series, because it's been close this entire way. I mean, the shots haven't always been in Maluke's favor, but every single game, actually, it's been the team with the most shots seems to have them by a landslide. And, well, it's 2 shots all and 1 goal all, as Liam M22 can put this one in for the Grizzlies, just tucking it in that far post. And, well, it's now going to be just a minute off the clock in a tied game. Everything reset. The Grizzlies know they only have to win a single game more, but Maluke, they're worried about the reverse sweep ramifications of that, what that can mean for the mental, everything. These teams, they're both tied on 8 points. They've got a lot to work with here. And Ashy, oh my, tucking that one again just below the bar, sinks it down, and now, after only a few seconds, the lead reinstates it, but instead, it's going to be for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's a very fast turnaround for the Grizzlies. Less than, or just over a minute after they went 1-0 down, they find themselves 2-1 up and on series point. We'll see if they can continue this run of form. Maluke are looking the best that they've looked all series long, and they're going to immediately find an equaliser. Finally putting the players up there, getting the players on the end of those touches onto the backboard, and just creating those rabbit in a headlight situations for the defense. So we now go back to a stalemate at 2-2, and I'm starting to feel like this could be the highest scoring game of this entire series, as both teams seem to be on fine shooting form.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for a high-scoring game would be the fact that we're going to see shooting percentages that aren't, like a 10, 15, 20% per team, because that's I mean, at least for the winning teams, we've seen maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 shots for a losing team where they can get 1 or 2, but yeah, almost abysmal shooting percentages for the winner. Instead, these tactics are just pile on the goals and put pressure on the opponents, hope they fumble, and you can recover on the rebounds. I mean, it works well enough in some scenarios, but yeah, if you can be more clinical, work out potentially with just that tad more danger, it means that they've got to respect you. They don't have to wait back for your touch and adapt as you go. No, they've got to push forward. They've got to stay alert to anything you might present as a hazard, and that's exactly what both teams have been working towards doing. Now again, Mal could have a shot here. It's going to bounce well high. DK should have that, and that's going to be down. It does bounce, but it bounces slow enough that no one's able to get back to it. And again, a lead going to switch once more in this game. Malachi now up 3-2.
Yeah, and the demo there really causing chaos on the back line. Mal with the first touch and then immediately just powered towards those 2 defenders, deleting one of them from the field. So Malachi once again with a lead. They've lost that lead twice so far. Let's see if they can retain it this time. Liam going to get to that one and just turns it over to the side, using his speed to get there. Goalie Monkey Boy with a shot. DK with a block. Ashy in the midfield puts it onto the backboard. It's going to be undefended as well. Liam was looking for the shot, but the late challenge came through. Big clear from Mal. Goalie Monkey Boy trying to get the clear off the backboard. He's turned it to the corner, but Mal waiting patiently. Gets the touch. There's a demo onto DK as well, and Liam is going to push forwards. I think there was someone on the back line still looking for demos, just trying to really blow a hole in the defense. It's not going to happen, and we go back and forth consistently here with no real shooting opportunities presenting themselves. That is a really weird touch from Meaty Pig, and it is going to set up DK. How on earth did Meaty Pig redirect this ball?
That's a nice one. Yeah, off the wheels. It's going to be a soft touch because it's off the wheels, but an acute enough angle, I guess obtuse enough that it's going to have still some pace added to it. And yeah, you're just going to have DK there ready and waiting. The hat trick for him in this game as well. Off only 4 shots, like you said, it's high scoring, and it's at a point where I don't know if the Grizzlies can come back from this. They may be put into a game 5 position, which I really don't think they're going to like. Malachi, they've proven they get better as time goes on too. They can adapt. They know how to read their opponents, and we're seeing it especially in this game 4. And on the other side of the pitch, Grizzlies, they're down by 2. They've got shots. Both teams have shots, but just nowhere near as much pressure or domination, and this is chipped up again. Who's going to get there first? Thank goodness it's a Grizzlies player. It will be goalie Monkey Boy down to Liam, and again, Liam's going to get another just mid-air dunk. Is now looking to stay with this. Everyone's going to have a bit of ping pong going on here, and now goalie Monkey Boy with this puts it downfield over 1. Meaty Pig can't get there. DK can instead, and looks like Malachi once more just trying to pin the Grizzlies on their own goal line.
Well, we are now marching towards a game 5, which I genuinely would not have predicted, seeing how good Glasgow looked in game 1 especially. But Malachi have just warmed up into the series, game after game. That shot was going to be blocked as well, and I think at this point, 2 goals in 30 seconds, it's possible, but it's unlikely. We do have one. We do have one. Goalie Monkey Boy in the right place at the right time and drops it down beautifully over the defense. Didn't even bounce on the goal line. So there's still a chance for Glasgow. But a game 5, really, in this series? I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
No, and I think now we've said it, it's going to go to overtime and somehow the Grizzlies will win, just to prove us wrong, because the caster curse exists. But, we can hope for game 5, we can hope for content, we can hope that Ashy as well, able to dribble this one, round 1, maybe 2 if you count teammates, seems to be trying to get in the way there. Not going to be able to flick it over Meaty Pig, consistent as always, who can also get their boost. And again, 1 defender misses, the second won't. Liam in the air, able to whiff their Mal with the shot. That's going to be top corner, but it's also going to be goalie Monkey Boy able to stave that one off. Pinch downfield, that looks brilliant. Liam, can he shine? It's going to be on target. All 3 players commit, and that's exactly what Malachi are going to need to close this game out.
Wow, that was a crazy game. I'm so surprised that we're here. I was certain that we would be looking at a sweep for Grizzlies, but now here we are in game 5. Both teams fighting for their playoff lives, by the way. I have had word from Sigmoid. We said that 10 points would probably be safe. Sigmoid reckons that any team with 11 wins will lock in a prize playoff spot, and any team with 10 wins will be part of the tiebreaker. So you need 10 wins to even sorry, 10 points.
Yes, 10 points. I was going to say, yeah.
To even be considered for the playoffs. And even if you do get 10 points, it might still come down to a tiebreaker. So for both of these teams, who are currently on 8 and 4, both on 8 points, a win here is huge. A win here would put them on the path to getting that top 8. I mean, both of them could go on and lose both of their
that's obviously
that
that's how Rocket League works. Let's be real. Yeah, but well, I think Malachi, they've got like a 45% opponent win percentage, whereas the Grizzlies have 60. They are the top of the tiebreak for currently 8 points. So winning 2 series should all but guarantee them. Whereas Malachi, they're gonna need, instead of having to worry about, our opponent did really good, do we have to worry about having the best percentage? That Malachi are just going to have to win 3 series outright today to really put themselves in a solid position, or hope that their opponents fumble big time and just start losing against the teams they really shouldn't be losing against. And you don't want to worry about your opponents and, do we get tie breaks? Just focus on yourself and be the reason that you qualified. They're going to need to play lights out. They're going to need to win. And DK, we're seeing a pattern emerging. He's going to score early once more. Exactly what you want. Get in your opponent's head. Wow, what a touch. I don't know how intentional that was, but it panned out perfectly. As that's tucked in and only 12 seconds in, once more we're going to see Malachi get an early lead.
Yeah, that was Ashy caught out there at the near post, just facing the wrong way, but you have to say the touch was unexpected from DK. But every time that Glasgow have gone down, we've seen them come back again and get a goal back, but Malachi seem to be playing much better Rocket League now. Their rotations are much better, their anticipation of what Glasgow is going to do seems to be better as well. And their whole read of the game, their chemistry, their synergy has just improved tenfold since game 1, where we were watching Glasgow on cruise control. And Glasgow now look a bit stunned, really, I have to say, because, it looked like they had a clear path to victory, and it just hasn't happened for them. They're having to really work for it here. And I think that's just kind of, they're just being a bit bewildered by that.
Maybe there's still a chance. Oh, I saw that. My eyes lit up. Okay, it will be Ashley to put it in. Sorry, I interrupted you there. I saw what would have been a phenomenal redirect. Goalie Monkey Boy can't put it in either. Ashley gonna wait. All 3 players get involved, and well, it's gonna be put in. We'll get an equalizer, and again, just like last game, 1-1 after just about a minute. And this is really gonna start heating up. Remember, Game 5, Champions Field. As much as it might be stressful for a spectator, for a caster, anyone watching, these players are going through it, whether they've got shaky hands or nerves of steel, they've still got to perform. What a pass down to goalie Monkey Boy. Unfortunately, that's not going to be converted. Would have been an amazing highlight play, though, and I'm loving the vision from the Grizzlies. Malachi, though, they don't want to be messed with. They're showing why they're here. They've fought back to Game 5, and rightfully so. Look at how they're playing. They've got the confidence. They just need the execution.
Oh yeah, Malachi definitely deserved to be here. I was kind of talking them down in games 1 and 2, just feeling like Glasgow was the stronger team, but that was factual at the time.
They were the stronger team. Let's be real.
Yeah, for sure. But now it's definitely an even affair, like 100%. I still don't know who's going to win this game 5. It could not be any closer right now. We've got 3 minutes left on the clock. It's 1 apiece. Both teams looking like they could take the series, but who is going to be that player to step up, or is it going to be a 3-man or a 3-person effort, I should say, from either side? That's a lovely drop down. DK with a save, but I think it was being saved anyway, so kind of tactical to stay in possession. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
As Malachi continue to pile on the pressure, that's another miss from DK. Passing back towards Meaty Pig, who is he ready for this? I don't think so. Ashy in possession. Goalie Monkey Boy with 100 boost as well. Liam over to the left-hand side. DK clearing long. Meaty Pig looking for that demo. And Goalie Monkey Boy has been forced all the way into his own half, but now comes forward with the ball looking for that pass off the corner, but not able to find it. It is a real war of attrition in the midfield at the moment, and nobody seems to be coming out on top anytime soon.
And again, every now and again, Maluke, they bring out a demo, some sort of bump, any physicality play, and it works, but as long as they're not overcommitting and they can really use that power play to their advantage. Goalie Monkey Boy, he goes for the shot, that's not going to be in, and yes it is! That's off the defenders, it shouldn't have been in, but instead this rifle of a ball, I mean, what a shot to put it Yeah, I mean, I never know. Actually, okay, Malcolm gets that relatively easily, but no, the bounce is going to curse them, unfortunately. And well, a 2-1 lead now, and Grizzlies, they're going to be feeling very happy about that one. They're trying to stop the reverse sweep here, and they'll be thanking their lucky stars unless Mal can get a touch of this. No, Meaty Pig now, and Ashy going to square off in this corner. Round one, Goalie Monkey Boy gets this. No follow-up, and instead again, a good clearance. Liam off to the side, who can turn none other but Ashy. And again, looking for the target, Liam. Goalie Monkey Boy up, has enough boost, wants to go for this, wants to flip reset into the dunk, it's going to be in! And the brace for Goalie Monkey Boy with only a minute and a half left can put the Glasgow Grizzlies up by 2.
Yeah, that's a crucial goal for Glasgow. 2-goal lead with a minute and 24 left on the clock. And I don't think that Malachi have really been in this position before, where they're 2 goals down and the pressure is on to try and come back and win. And it will mean the series win as a shot goes through from Goalie Monkey Boy. It's a beautiful pass, and it's now a mountain for Malachi to climb.
I don't know if this is possible. I mean, Goalie Monkey Boy seems like, you know, the emergent star, especially in this last game. He's got the hat trick now. He had saves in the first game. He's got goals now, even assisting the goal that Ashy got credit for as well. And yeah, the 3-goal deficit, something that you assume is impossible to surmount. Oh my goodness, I thought Mal could have had that. No, DK needs to go for the shot. Instead, this one gonna drop down. A nice pinch off of 2 opposing cars. It just falls. Meaty Pig cleared out, but not after the touch forward. Liam off to the side, I think, actually interrupting a teammate there as well. Now has boost, wants to catch, pushing it past one, maybe the demo. Can anyone get there? Liam has to get this on target. That's not going to be in. He goes for the block on the goal line. But no, it's all about pressure, just making sure now that Maluke, they can't get any shots. They can't get any sort of pressure. And as the seconds tick by, this game, this series seems all but over.
Yeah, it's been a series that's really been decided by moments, I have to say. And in the last minute, it seems like Malachi just lost their cool. They lost their composure. They are going to get a goal here, but with 18 seconds left, I think... No. I think Glasgow have done enough here. A 2-goal lead, 18 seconds, come on. No way. No shot. Not going to happen.
You really assume that, you know, and well, yeah, 18 seconds for 2 goals is something that you just don't see. And this, I don't know if that was an intended kickoff back to the teammate. It doesn't matter. Goalie Monkey Boy, it's not even stat padding. It's just a good goal there, finding the space. There's no one back home, and DK not quite the touch he's looking for. Goalie Monkey Boy spots that home. The 4th goal for him now, offers 6 shots as well, and he's got 3 saves. He's been absolutely everywhere in this game. A great one from him to finish it up, but the entire team of the Grizzlies, the Glasgow Grizzlies that is, able to take this series now. It's a 3-2 affair. It's a lot closer than it seemed to be. In Liam styling. Oh my goodness.
What is that?
Okay, just watch this out. Nice. We'll call it a fake. DK can't read it. Oh. There we go. That's the series over.
That's just BM. That's pure BM. Literally best goal of the series.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Oh, I can't get there.
Well then, Glasgow Grizzlies victorious in round 1.
Indeed.
And best of luck to them as they do try and get into those final 8 spots for the prize playoffs. There are still the open playoffs for places 9 to 16, but you know that everyone in that top 16 currently is going to be wanting to get into that final bracket with a shot to try and get to that LAN in April at Confetti X. But that's going to be it for round 1. Commiserations to Malachi. They really did fight hard there. They went from looking like they were kind of beaten in game 1 and already kind of down and out in the series to really stepping things up and showing everyone watching what they were made of. So big props to them, but ultimately they do fall at the final hurdle to the Grizzlies.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the 5th week of the Swiss stage of the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. I'm once again joined by Orksy, and we are now in round 2 of this final week of Swiss. We've just seen Glasgow Grizzlies take down Lincoln B and pretty much put an end to Lincoln's hopes of making it into that top 8, but there have been some interesting results, which has caused a bit of a reshuffling of the pack.
Yeah, there's some teams. Of course, it's going to move around. It's going to develop as it goes. The Grizzlies, they've actually still not managed to crack that top 8 purely because now their opponent win percentage is less than 1% lower than the Imperial College of London's, who we are actually going to have on stream right up next. So if either one of those teams can win and the other loses, they'll be pushing ahead. There's 7 teams now, all on 9 points. So half of them, of course, are going to be able to advance. The other half going to start dropping out, and it's really going to come down to the top half and the bottom parts of the tiebreakers of these teams on these 10 points, these 9 points, things like that. So it's heating up, and some of these teams, we've got the Blue Jays, actually, they've managed to guarantee qualification as well. Apart from that, there's still 5 playoff spots that are all up for grabs.
Yeah, well, I can go through some results from round one. Roehampton Monster Shop beating Loughborough Lions, and I believe with that we'll lock in first seed for playoffs as well. UEA have now made it to those playoffs with a 3-0 sweep of Icy Trees of Green. That's Imperial College London. Rockin' Tears in a very close Game 5 victory against Lancaster. Lincoln beating Warwick 3-1. That's a huge result for them, and Warwick now needing to win both of their remaining series this evening just to even have a chance at the tiebreakers. Glasgow, we saw beating Lincoln B 3-2. Aston 3-0 against Manchester. So Aston having a very strong start to the evening. And I think that covers most of our top 16 teams, to be honest, or most of the teams looking to try and get into the top 8. And on stream now, we are going to have 2 teams that are currently in the safe zone, but one of them will be dropping out of that safe zone after this. We have Imperial College going up against Lancaster League. This is a must-win for both of these teams.
Of course, I mean, Lancaster, they've got a couple of teams that are pretty strong, but of course, this main one, a lot of success across various European competitions, including Newell. I think, at least to me, they're the favourites going into this. They're seeded slightly higher, but they're all on the same points, the same win-loss as Imperial College of London. I'm not entirely sure what your analysis of this is. I've seen a lot more of Lancaster than I have seen ICL play, but they're both strong. They've got to this point. You can't get to this just by luck. You've got to be very good against all calibers of teams.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of these either. I more watched Lancaster last season, and they were a team that was always good and on the cusp, but not quite making it all the way there. I do believe we saw Lancaster in the playoff bracket in the winter split, whereas we didn't see Imperial there. So looking for a role reversal, trying to make it into that bracket ahead of Lancaster. Lancaster trying to make it back to the bracket for a second consecutive split. I wouldn't really know who my money's on. Both of these teams have just come off a loss. Both of them know that this is must win. Maybe I lean towards Lancaster more because I am biased. I did used to play for Lancaster many moons ago, it must be said. I think that was 2018 I played for Lancaster. So, yeah, that's much longer than I thought. Anyway, I guess my bias does lean towards Lancaster, but ultimately, I just want to see a good series. Same as we did last series. Glasgow, we thought we're going to take it pretty confidently. That didn't turn out to be the case. Lincoln B really put up a fight, but Glasgow ultimately held their nerve in Game 5. another game 5 would be nice. I don't know. I'm taking this at a neutral standpoint personally.
Yeah, I think looking at the last series we had, it is just about mentality on this last day. Obviously, Rocket League, you have to you'd be very good at that. That's a given. But you look at the teams that are left, we saw, that Lincoln side, they didn't give up at 0-2 down. They managed to fight back to game 5. And as much as they didn't win, their Rocket League wasn't the best in that 5-minute span. They still had the resilience and the fight back to get to that point. And it's going to be the same. Like you said, both these teams just came off a loss. They've now got to regain and work together, make sure that mentality, that mental state is at a point where they can continue to play, against the top flights of teams. Otherwise, it's going to be such a tough ask to expect any of these teams to get to those top 8 points. There's 5, or those top 8 spots, sorry, there's 5 left. Winning this game will put one of these two teams in a very good position for it. Otherwise, it's still going to be a big struggle.
Yeah, I mean, Icy Trees of Green, if they lose this, or either team, if they lose this, okay, will stay on 9 points. We're thinking you need 10 to get into a tiebreaker scenario for the top 8. So both teams could actually still end up finding themselves in the tiebreaker. Even if they go up to win this, they could lose the 3rd series of the night, which will arguably be their hardest of the evening. I genuinely think we're going to end up on a massive tiebreaker, with loads of teams finishing on 10 points. It's so hard to I'm looking at the table now.
Yeah,
and we have 2 teams on 10 points, so that's Kent and Lincoln. So they are only 1 series away now, out of from making it. We think. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams tied on 9 points, and a further 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams on 8. So we're looking at and that's down to 21st place on 8 points, and we're thinking 10 points gets you to playoffs. It's so close.
There'll be you'll have 9 teams vying for 3 or 4 spots or something like that when it comes down to it. Of course, there'll be a few teams again throughout the next 2 series that can again solidify their spot. You're looking at Kent. You're looking at the first Lincoln team. They're on 10 points, so 1 more win will pretty much guarantee them that spot. That then closes up 4 and 5, meaning there'll only be 3 more, which could be secured potentially if you have a couple teams go ahead and win all of them. But there's still a chance with tiebreakers, with certain matchups, that it could get very messy, and it's all about just playing your heart out, making sure that every single game, every single goal is played at 110%. Otherwise, you could be going home from this entire, or at least from the prize playoff bracket. There's still, of course, secondary and tertiary brackets under that, but you're really wanting to get to that top 8 for pride, for money, for all of those things. That's what you compete for.
Well, I think we're just about ready to get into the game now. This is going to be such a close series. I can feel it. There's absolutely nothing separating Lancaster and Icy Trees of Green, apart from a couple of percentage from their opponent match win percent. We'll see what happens as we get into game 1.
Yeah, of course, opponent match win percentage is all great for tiebreakers when you're looking at the table, but what really matters is just that game win column, and that's decided by how you perform on the pitch when wheels hit grass and cars hit the ball. This first goal, just like the last series, could prove to be so crucial. That's going to be a double commit. Both miss, and Salty Sea Dog instead, on behalf of the Lancaster side, going to put this one through in a great go-ahead goal, not even 30 seconds in.
Yep, beautiful goal to start things off here from Salty Sea Dog, all by himself there. 24 seconds gone, and Lancaster have an early lead in this game. Is that Yukio or Ukio? How do you?
I believe it's Yukio, but it's just different phonics, something like that. Yukio, Schwinn, and Galaxy, of course, Imperial College of London. They don't have as much, at least experience or showing at the top flights, but that doesn't mean they're not good, and they're gonna try and show it here. They've got to this point where they've got 8-9 wins, points there, looking very strong, and still staying in this game, wanting to force the ball forward and make sure that Lancaster know they are still here to play.
Yeah, Lancaster definitely here to play as Jay fires a shot on target. Another shot from Jay blocked away by Galaxy Eyes. Benji catching the defense off guard there. Schwinn was starting to move towards that ball, but taken away. Benji now putting that forwards. Definitely seems like Lancaster having the better run of offensive pressure at the moment, because whenever Imperial get forward in numbers, they just seem to run out of boost slightly. So Lancaster must be doing a good job of controlling things at the midfield line.
And again, about a minute and a half gone. Nothing too dangerous from either side. There was that first stint you saw the Imperial College players. They just crossed paths, but didn't quite manage to get a touch on the ball. Instead, put home Salty Sea Dog. It's still a great shot. A nice way to gain some confidence for your squad. And Galaxy Eyes wants the far post shot. That will be saved away by Benji. It's not too threatening. There might be a chance for a counter-attack if this is dropped down. No, Yukio and Galaxy Eyes both going to go up, but still a nice touch from Benji. Not going to get the 50. Both players missing. Salty Sea Dog won't be the first there. Instead, it will be Galaxy Eyes. Jay has to go for some sort of clearance on the back line again into the corner. A bit of a miss, but not to worry. There'll be one player in orange streaking through. It's going to be Jay. So taking away Octane as well. Oh, Octane, sorry, Fennec. A bit flashy. That pass not as flashy. Instead, the musty attempt was there. Benji, easy enough save for him.
Yeah, Lancaster still looking to be in control in the midfield as things stand, although Yukio looking for a flip reset, blocked out by Salty Sea Dog. Galaxy Eyes can only turn it as far as the corner, but gets a nice pinch over the top of Jay. Leaves it for Benji. Jay in the midfield lurking, but that is what I refer to as a death pass there, where it's just too close to the defense and ultimately couldn't quite get onto it, latch onto it and get a shot on target.
And we are still seeing, though, this ball, but, look at possession and the field domination. It's pretty much split 50-50. Neither team able to be... They've looked to have some promise, but not nearly as much as Lancaster and their 6 shots, 2 goals, looking to just streak ahead in this first game.
Yeah, and I'm drawing parallels here with the game we saw, or the series we saw previously between Glasgow and Lincoln B, where Lancaster look in control, they look pretty dominant, and they look comfortable. But how long is that going to last for? I mean, Imperial are not a team to be sniffed at. Like, they are current top 8 as things stand. They have beaten strong opposition to get here. So you can't expect them to struggle against a team like Lancaster for too long. They're finally starting to put their shooting boots on. Got them laced up tightly, but not able to find the target.
This could drop down. It could be dangerous. It will be, but not if Salty Sea Dog's going to be that far back. Benji again downfield, just going to ricochet off Yukio. It's boomed downfield once more. No one able to get a dangerous enough touch. Galaxy Eyes up, but that's around him. Salty Sea Dog with the touch. It's going to be just dinged out to Benji now. A demo on said Benji. Schwinn can get a touch on the player for the demo, but not the ball. And again, this is down. It's going to be put through. Jay with his second of the series. Nice enough off the backboard. Just a good read. It's simple. Bounces. Yukio can't get there. Maybe, just maybe, if it was a bit faster, wouldn't have bounced. There'd be no jeopardy. So give the defense, that glimmer of hope, but no, a 3-0 lead now in this game. It seems to be closing out.
Yeah, it does seem like for Imperial that the backboard defense is their kryptonite, really. All 3 goals have come from aerial drop downs that just haven't been defended off the backboard. So if Imperial want to change anything going forwards into game 2, I think it's improve their backboard defense, get someone on that backboard, making the touches and getting those clears away, and just preventing Lancaster from having easy rebound opportunities to get those shots on target.
Of course, and one thing that I'm seeing throughout this first game, which will now be drawing to a close as Lancaster will take it, is just the positioning of Lancaster. They've been so good so as to not let, even though there's been 6 shots, actually 5 from Galaxy Eyes, 6 from Galaxy Eyes, 1 which will be converted, just at the death there. Their shots are coming on, but the saves are easy enough. Of course, that being the one exception. Benji just a bit static in net. Maybe put down the controller, taking a breath, water, whatever it is that these guys are doing in between games. And yeah, the rotations, the positioning, it's so solid, making sure that there's no chance the opponents can push through, can find a gap in the offense or the defensive line. Instead, there's someone back. The boost is looking good for them. they just seem strong. The fundamentals are there, and when the opportunity to push up presented itself, they took that and they managed to convert on that on several occasions.
Yep. But I feel wiser after the last series, right? Because we saw Glasgow take a convincing win. It was comfortable. They looked good. We thought that they would go on to win the series, which they ultimately did, but not after Lincoln B took them all the way to game 5. So in my infinite wisdom, to be lumping praise onto Lancaster at this point, I want to see Imperial take a step up. I want to see them really start to match Lancaster and challenge them a bit more in the midfield, make life harder for them on defense as well. And then I think we could really start to see a series of things. And I don't think that is beyond the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I mean, Imperial College of London, they have lost a series today. That's why they're coming into this match with, the points they do. But so of Lancaster, they're not looking like it. They look in form. But to get to this point, win or lose the first series of today, you've got to play well. And I just want to see that offense or the defense, come out to play. Salty Sea Dog can dissect it. It's going to be a bit messy here for Imperial College of London. Everyone jumping, no one connecting. And, well, like you said, we've seen what happens before if you put too much praise on you. Say it looks like Lancaster is too strong. Imperial College, what can they do to counter it? Evidently something. They've got to this point in the bracket, in the table, out of their own merit. It wasn't luck. It was purely their skill. And once we see that, then we can really get an evaluation of, are they able to keep up today? Will they be able to push through and go for that prize playoff position? Or will they go down by 2, just like that? Benji swiftly enough put in. And yeah, they're looking to crumble early, but like you said, don't make a prediction at a snap.
Yeah, well, Lancaster, 2 goals in quick succession there in the opening minute of this game. So it looks like it's Lancaster that have taken the step up as things stand at the moment. We're not really seeing too much of Imperial on offense, but that has plenty of time to change. As a shot put on target by Galaxy Eyes, who was definitely the target man for Imperial in the previous game in terms of getting those shots on target and asking questions of the defense. Speaking of asking questions of the defense asking some questions of themselves there as they were just floundering on the back line. Yukio trying to send one on target. Salty Sea Dog over to that left-hand side wall. The Eyes trying to put one into the mixer. But all 3 players there from Lancaster deal with it. Demo coming through as well. There's another demo from Jay. Well dealt with by Yukio, taking his time. Doesn't get the wave dash, and possession going to be given back to Lancaster. It's just a bit of a tug-of-war in the midfield at the moment. Lancaster finally breaking out. Benji looking for the shot, but immediately blocked out by the IC defense.
Yeah, you said they're asking questions. The question a lot of the time seems to be, what are you doing and why do you think this can stop us? Because honestly, the pressure that we're seeing from Lancaster, there's been touches here and there. There's always someone ready to collect, boom that ball upfield. That would have been an amazing drop down goal. Instead, it's just off to the side. Jay can stay with it, looking for a waiting Benji, who instead will miss this. It looked like 2 players from Imperial College once more push up there. Benji with a nice 50 wants to chase. Any sort of touch central will be great. Again, this is just up above the net. Not going to be a boost steal on, but instead there's still someone from Lancaster push forward. It will be Jay, closely followed by Salty Sea Dog on the wall here. Is there a teammate? Doesn't want the teammate. Immediately looked like an attempt at a shot, but no, this is going to be right down the middle. Jay again has the boost, has the ball. A bit of space and time as well to work with. Wants the clearance and goes past 2 defenders. Now Imperial College, they'll be scrambling back here. Benji, this is lofted up. I think that was an attempt at a bump there, but not quite going to pay off. Instead, we're still going to see Imperial College just scramble on the goal line for a second until someone can get a clearance out. That's not going to be the case. And again, Jay can keep the pressure up. Benji now to the corner. Once more a touch. Scrambling. Looking. Anything. Salty Sea Dog off to the side, but still no one able to break through the opponents.
Yeah, and Imperial increasingly looking second best here, it has to be said. Lancaster in control in all areas of the pitch at the moment. On offense, they're constantly asking questions and just making the defense of Imperial look a little bit wobbly. As another shot by Benji, immediate block by Schwinn, but are they running out of boost slightly? That remains to be seen as Lancaster collecting themselves on the back line, picked up by Benji, and Salty Sea Dog recognizing the positioning of his teammate, backing off into that third man position. So Sea-Dog again, or actually gets faked there. Galaxy Eyes doesn't have the boost, though, to really continue to go forwards. And we've seen that time and again from Imperial. A shot does come through from Schwinn, but he's on 0 as well. So counter-attack now coming through. It's Galaxy Eyes all by himself. Does a great job, though, sending it over to the right-hand side. Benji dropped down looking for a teammate, only finding Yukio, who is trying to read this off the backboard. It's a nice drop down for Schwinn, but doesn't get it back on target. Galaxy Eyes going to make the touch into the corner, look for the double, not going to find the angle. And Jay getting the clear for Lancaster. 45 seconds left, and Lancaster might have done enough here.
Yeah, I mean, another goal would seal it. Just like that, Salty Sea-Dog getting it on the board once more this game now. The brace for him instead. And we're going to see, what's that, 10 shots the better are Lancaster. They've got 10. Imperial College, they've got 5, which is decent, but they haven't managed to convert any of them. Instead, they've just been stuck in their own back line, in their own box. And, well, yeah, 3 goals in just about 30, 35 seconds. Something that you assume can't be fought back from. Yukio wants to put this onto the backboard. Maybe gives his team some sort of chance. And a good demo here. There's an opportunity, but it won't be able to be taken instead. Jay forces this one out and gets the boost steal, meaning there's no chance of any player getting a quick turnaround for Imperial College. A nice demo. I think he's looking for another one as well. This is going to be chipped just below the bar. 2 players go. One of them can connect, and that will be Schwinn, the second save medal. We're going to see for Imperial College a nice save as well. They are at least stat-wise for Imperial College, trying to give them some pressure and also give them a lifeline on defense. Benji wants this goal, actually. Doesn't want to just let it drop. Now, Salty Sea-Dog up into the sideboard. That should be pinched down, and that would have been in if there was a couple seconds on the clock, but that's not going to be the case. Instead, Lancaster, they go up by 2 in this series. Look, okay, we've seen this before, and I know we said be hesitant to say that one team's playing really well.
Sure.
Lancaster should win this series. They should win it in game 5 or in game 3. Who knows? But they're looking so much better. I really don't know what Imperial College can work on, because they're at such a point where they're doing everything Lancaster are doing, just that step or 2 below. There's no point they're excelling that they should focus on. It's just it's struggle after struggle. Lancaster are better. It's simple as that.
And I have to agree with you at this point. Lancaster started the series off well, but now they've just got even better, and Imperial are just kind of flatlining at this point. Lancaster warming up more and more. That you can kind of just see from kind of like the almost body language of the cars, just kind of flexing mechanics, doing cool things, really just vibing with each other. So Lancaster right now, despite that first round loss, I think have found a really good wavelength for them all to operate on. And I don't know, I don't want to call a sweep, because you never really want to call a sweep when the pressure's on. Some teams perform better than others, but Lancaster, I think, look the favourites to take the series right now. I think that is just fact at this point.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not you know a team can crumble under pressure, if they're playing well, you have to assume that that's going to continue. And again, a nice bump from Salty Sea-Dog to give Jay the opening. Won't be converted, but Yukio and Benji having to contest as well.
No
Up
way.
in the air, Yukio, what a recovery to put this down. Field is shut down by Salty Sea-Dog, although that wouldn't necessarily have been a goal. I just love the recovery, the ability to stay with that and still show signs of life, mechanic, game sense, and everything. Salty Sea-Dog now again.
Oh my!
It's going to be put through. Another lead for Lancaster, and in style. What a shot.
Yep, goal of the evening so far. Air dribble into, reset off the ceiling, over the final defender. Gorgeous from Salty Sea-Dog there. And it's going to give Lancaster a 1-0 lead here in game 3. But I said this not a minute ago. The body language, you can see that they're just having a good time. They're having fun with it. You don't do things like that unless you're not enjoying playing at such a high level. So Lancaster right now, teammate rule 1?
How?
Guys,
they're
what the
not
hell?
enjoying it that much. They're not enjoying it that much.
Guys,
buddy.
come on.
Yeah, but like you say, the confidence there when, I can't remember who it was, but Salty Sea-Dog went up for that, and there was a teammate on the left-hand side wall who looked in a prime position to go for a pass, but he thought, no, I've got this, I'm going to go for it. I know my teammates can back me up instead, and that's, the confidence, the ability, not only to think, to back yourself, but then to follow through and actually convert. Such a great way to do it, and we're not even 2 minutes into this game. It's only a 1-goal lead, but it seems like Lancaster are just all over their opponents. Benji might have this, but no, Schwinn can keep it to the side. Soldier Sea Dog with the weakest touch we've seen so far. Jay now staying with it. A nice follow-up, little double touch on the sideboard. Benji into the corner. No one there looking for some sort of physicality. Again, I love to see this. The confidence. They're just oozing it. They know what they're doing. They've got this swagger about how they're playing. It's fast, but it's still so very controlled, and it's dominant as well. Imperial College, they need to change something and change it very, very quickly.
Yeah, we are spending a lot of time talking about Lancaster, so I guess we should focus on Imperial, and I guess what we need to talk about is what can they do differently against this Lancaster team that is just firing on all cylinders.
Ooh,
I'm struggling to really come up with ideas. They seem like they're playing well. Like, it is only a 1-goal game. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm a caster. Their rotations are good. Their defense is solid. Their offense is good. But Lancaster just have the edge.
Yeah, you know, these guys seem pretty even on, if you're looking at the bumps or the demos you're seeing, anything like that. But it's just the inability to pierce through. Maybe you want to go for more solo plays and expect a teammate to be there to follow up, or you want to exclusively try and focus on those passes. I feel like they're trying to toe the line between everything, just make a game plan of generalization work, you know, the regular execution, but instead you have to focus on certain parts of your gameplay that whether you know an individual's good at or you know that you can excel at. It's a time to experiment. You've lost one series, you're on the cusp of losing another as well. This isn't a position that you want to be in. You really need to win at least, or you want to win one or two if you're in their position to secure yourself a spot in the playoffs. And with this time left on the clock, it's only, like you said, a 1-goal lead. It's now going to be a 2-goal lead. I thought that initial shot was going to be in, but no, Benji can't quite. Benji to Jay, though, that's a link up we've seen a few times and easy enough to put that through. I mean, defense would be pretty good for Imperial College. It would definitely help them with the deficit because their offense just hasn't quite been there.
I've figured it out. I've been watching intently, and I've figured it out.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Speed.
What about speed?
Speed. Lancaster are speed. They are so fast. And I'm watching every 50-50, and every single 50-50, Lancaster are first to the ball. I think that is it. They are literally just outspeeding their opponents and running rings around them.
Yeah, I think they've just got what that bit more average boost in the tank. They're able to use it more consistently as well. I think that's what it is. You know, like you say, they've got good recoveries, just using power slide or drift or anything like that in such an efficient way that now, again, I mean, fast kickoff, but just easy enough to read that, doesn't take too long to react, puts it through. That's not necessarily all about the speed, but it's about the reaction time as well, which does definitely help. And you mentioned it now, of course, it all slots into place, and it seems to slot into place for Lancaster as well. They're now hot 4 with less than a minute left. Safe to assume they're going to sweep here, or are we still going to be a bit tentative?
Yeah, I think they sweep from here, to be honest with you.
It's going to be tough to come back here. They're trying something a bit interesting there with the two players now. The conga line of about 5 of them, all down one side of the pitch, could mean that Imperial College still have a chance to get a goal. It'll be a tough ask, of course, but a possibility. Maybe looking for that 50 inwards. No, Yukio pushes that out instead. Now Jay off to the sideboard. The follow-up not going to be there, but like you say, the speed, just the ability to get supersonic, get that demo, it works in their favor. Soldier Sea Dog in the corner, another demo. I'm loving what I'm seeing as the clock ticks down. This will end up being a sweep for Lancaster. They put themselves in a position to... Do they secure playoffs with this? Do we guarantee that they've secured playoffs, or are they just in a very, very good position for it right now?
They are in a very good position because they are now on 10 points. So they are essentially one series away from locking in. And maybe, I mean, at this point, you would think that they've done enough to make that tiebreaker.
Yeah. I think they've guaranteed a tiebreaker of some sort, I believe.
Yes, I think so. 10 points is the number to maybe get in. 11 points is the number to definitely get in.
Well, they're still in the top. They're still in the top 8. That's been guaranteed. If not, I think they'll be in the top 6 or 7. It's not guaranteed. It depends on how Kent and Lincoln played. If they manage to again further their points to 11 and guarantee themselves a spot. Otherwise, this could still be in the air. If we see those two teams that were a point ahead of the pack both lose somehow, then obviously other teams push ahead. But it's going to be such a mix, and every single game, it's not just about how you perform, it's about how, these like we've said, these tiebreakers work. Everyone else can play as well. So how the bracket shakes up after this is going to be interesting. Lancaster, they'll be feeling confident no matter what. They came off a loss, and now they're going into the next one off a win, and a dominant one at that as well. So it's good to see for them. Imperial College, a bit tougher though. They've really got to regain and hope that they get some very nice tiebreakers.
Well, that's going to be all she wrote for round 2. We will be shortly bringing you round 3 and all the results from round 2 as well, with a quick look at the table to see who is still in with a chance of making it, who's still in with a chance of getting that tiebreaker. It's chaos. Everything is on fire, but it's fine, and we'll try and make sense of it in about 10 minutes' time, so don't go anywhere.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the third time to the fifth week of the Swiss stage of the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. And we have reached the climax of that Swiss stage here, round 3 in week 5. And we will be following a match here to see who may make it into the playoffs, who may not. We're following two 9-point teams in Cardiff and Aston. I believe both are 0-2 for the night, actually, maybe. I'm not actually sure on that, but regardless, they're both on 9 points. 10 points gets you into the tiebreakers. 11 points guarantees you safety. There are 4 teams currently that are guaranteed into the prize playoffs. They are Roehampton, Loughborough Lions, UEA Blue Jays, and Kent in that order. And then there is a whole host of teams beneath them vying to try and get into those top 8 spots.
Yeah, we saw UEA after the first series today. They managed to get in. Then Kent, they got after the second series, which had now 2 more out of Lincoln, Lancaster, Warwick, and Loughborough will be taking up the 5th and 6th spot, which means the 7th and 8th spot, only 2 of those top 8 are going to be scrambled for by, I'm looking at this, probably half a dozen teams or something around that level. So tiebreakers are going to be super important. But even for these teams, they're not worrying about tiebreakers. They're worrying about just getting to that point. The team that wins this guarantees themselves a spot in the tiebreaker. Now, I'm sure there's some way of working out, are you already guaranteed to get in if you've played these teams and this team wins or loses? It doesn't matter. They're not worried about the ifs and or buts. It's just about playing the best Rocket League possible they can in front of them. Cardiff and Aston, both some very good teams, like you say, not the best form of today, which means that, you know, they can also get in the opponent's head. They think that the other guys aren't playing as well. They just need to put their best foot forward, win the first game, get a few early goals, and they'll be in a great position to fight still for an opportunity at that top 8 spot.
Okay, well, I think we've done enough talking already, and we will be shortly getting into game 1. I just need to type the magic words of go, go, go in all caps. And with that, I have the power to make 6 people from across the country join this Rocket League lobby and get us underway here in game 1.
Yeah, of course. And these players, you know, they might not be currently seeded in the top 8, but these guys are still, you know, they're high GC, they're SSLs. They still have experience at the top level. They know what they're doing because they've played intense matches and they've won when they need to clutch up before. It's just this final series. It either puts them into the prize playoffs or it just puts them into that secondary tier below it. Still in a very good seed, and they'll be no doubt very, very strong against some of those lower teams in that second one. So either way, they're in a good position. They put themselves in a hopeful position, at least for the future. Right now, the here and now, that's exactly what Cafe wants to worry about. And here and now, right in front of them, is the goal. It's open. The ball slides right in Aston. They're going to take a 1-goal lead.
Yep, nobody home there for Cardiff. Not really sure what happened, but the defense well and truly breaking down there and allowing Aston an early opportunity to get their noses in front in game 1 here. But as we've seen from our first series of the night, if you missed it, game 1 doesn't really decide a whole lot, even if one team looks to be the better. Although you could say that was completely flipped on its head when we looked at our second series, as Lancaster started it off strong and just continued to put their foot down even harder on the gas pedal. So we've had 2 very conflicting series today. One where a team looked strong starting out and then the other team came back in. Another one where a team, again, looked strong starting out, but then didn't leave any breathing room for the other team. Wondering what this series is going to look like.
I think it would actually be beneficial for the tiebreakers if both these teams went to 5, because that means the opponent's game win percentage is slightly better. And I mean, for content, of course, you want it to go to 5. You want to see these two teams slug it out. If you're a fan of one particular university or player or team, you want them to have this easy enough. But otherwise, who doesn't want yet another Game 5? It's always intense. You know it's going to be good all the way through. And, well, that could be a nice shot. Not quite going to be in. The follow-up is not either. Top corner. It's not even going to be rolling in. No, the opponent just able to clear that. And now Jonah drops his ball down to Cafo up the sideboard. It's stripped away and off the backboard here. Can anyone get there? It will be Bright Ollie. But back into this blue half. Boomed away. Shooty down again, looking for a teammate. No one able to get a nice connection here. Jackalus with the ball. Wants a 50, wants a clearance, wants to alleviate any sort of pressure that's been put on by Aston. They're up by 1 and going up by a second will put them in a really, really good position. Still relatively early on in this game.
Lancaster still in control for the time being, though, with that 1-goal lead. We did see a great opportunity from Cardiff, but pinched off the post by... Wait, did I say Lancaster? Did I say Lancaster? Yeah, I did say Lancaster. I meant Aston. Aston, they've got both have an AST in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aston looking like the better team so far, but Cardiff did have that one golden opportunity, which just went awry and got away from them. Although that is an absolute freebie for Curbs. Bright Ollie dropping it down to absolutely no one. Curbs picking up the pieces of what should have been a much better clear.
And 2-0 up at this point. That means almost nothing, it seems. You're still gauging your ability to push through to get into a good position in the game, in the series. And there's been shots from both sides, 3 shots actually for both teams, but at least a save for both rosters as well. So as long as we see Cardiff's just push forward a bit more, look like they've still got that fight in them, which they do. Bright Ollie wants that. No, Shooty down instead, can't get the angle. The idea was still there, and they're passing it around, making sure there's still movement with the ball between all 3 players on the team, showing that they're all threats. Jonah could be a threat as well. That will be a threat. That will be a goal. And it seems really easy, actually, just picking this one up in the midfield. 1 touch, and then the second round, no real air dribble, just a nice enough follow, keeping close to the ball. And as soon as the opponent pushed too far up, bang, that's going to be in. That's going to be a 3-goal lead with just about 100 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, the challenges right now are just too late from Cardiff. They are giving Aston too much space to do what they want, especially in the air, and it's putting pressure on themselves, really, by not challenging early and holding that line in the midfield. They are starting to struggle on defense by just allowing Aston to come through at their own free will. We see another shot on net. That one is going to go in as well. Turning into a bit of a bloodbath in Game 1 for Aston, but I really don't feel like we've seen Cardiff at their best yet.
No, I mean, that initial shot, it was off the post and then it rolled down. And again, it's like Cafo could have had that. All 3 players dived. There was a demo, there was a save, there was a couple people just completely flying out the way, missing entirely. But yeah, that follow-up once more going to be put through. And like you said, a bit of a bloodbath, a 4-0, not even in the final minute. It looks a bit messy, and Aston, they really just want to pile on the pressure here, make sure that they can be as strong as possible. And once more, if this is let down, wants to be Kerr pushing it forward. Jackalus to the side. Nice attempt at a demo there. I like the idea. Want a bit physical, getting your opponent's head. Show that even if you're on the pitch, we can get rid of you. Make sure there's no one there to stop the shot. And, well, there seems to be no one there to stop Jonah's attempt. As the one defender that is just can't quite read. And instead, Shooty out the way. Jonah, a tough angle as well, actually. That is on the replay. That is even harder to get.
Yep, Aston well and truly in control. Probably the most dominant performance we've seen all evening in a single game. They have only had 8 shots and they've converted 5 of them. So it does kind of allude to the fact that Cardiff's defense has been akin to that of Swiss cheese in Game 1, as it's been letting quite a few things through the gaps. Not that time, though, although Cafo onto the backboard, actually going to get back to it as well. Top right-hand corner. 6-0 to Aston in Game 1. And Cardiff, I mean, they were probably looking at Game 2 from 3-0 down, but what do? You've just been absolutely trounced. 6-0. giving me flashbacks to the weekend where a certain Manchester United lost 7-0 to Liverpool. I don't support either of those teams, but I've just started a war in Twitch chat, and I'm very proud of it.
I like that. I like that. I understand nothing about football or soccer, but, you know, drama where drama is needed. This game, there's not too much more to talk about it, apart from just the inability that Cardiff have to save a shot, really. There's been 10 by Aston, and 6 of them put through a brace, that being 2 goals for every single player on the orange team. Maybe a third for at least one of them here. Jonah, forward. Capo, that's off the crossbar. And again, if anything, the only reason that we haven't seen more from Aston is because they keep hitting the woodwork.
Yep, they do. I mean, Cardiff only had 4 shots total that game compared to, I will give you that number in a second. Drum roll, please. Scoreboard. It is 12. They outshot them by 3 times. Cardiff not even getting on the board, and also only making 4 saves total as well. So Cardiff have a lot of work to do. A lot of work. Aston look in control. They look dominant. And they look to be the better team more so than we have seen in our previous 2 series tonight.
Yeah, this is... They might not be, you know, the best mechanically or the best team in general, if you look at the points and how they've performed, but they're the most dominant in the matchup. They've got the mismatch, and if, again, this series continues like that first game, it's one where halfway through the second game, we could be saying, yeah, sweep 100%, but to realistically expect another 6-0, even like a 3 or 4-0, is ridiculous, because a team of any caliber can still come back. They can reset. They had, you know, that minute or so in between games, and you expect probably the last minute or two of the actual game as well last time, where they were just trying to work out to, you know, talk to themselves, say, okay, it's fine, we got this, just regain the scoreline of this, doesn't matter, just put it out your mind. And well, it looked like there was maybe a chance to put that downfield into some sort of threatening position, but no, not quite. All 3 players from Aston actually getting involved on this counter-attack. They all get a touch each, and a good mid-air dunk. There could be a chance to work something together here, just string a few passes together, a bit of offensive pressure. This is pinging up to the side once more, and now Bright Ollie has to stay with it. Curbs can't get the read, and Capo taking out the game. Another bump by Curbs again on the follow-up. Draculus goes for the shot. That's going to be put all the way downfield. Jonah hasn't scored that. The follow-up will be put in, though. The defender not able to get back. And again, we're going to see Aston take the lead, but not quite in the way you expected. No tear down the field, no great mechanical play. Just a nice read from a missed touch, and then following it up on the goal line.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy 50-50, really, and you can't really blame Cardiff in that instance for being caught off guard. Shooty did have his thinking cap on. He was trying to go for the demo and prevent that goal-scoring opportunity, but wasn't quite able to catch up to it. Capo onto the backboard, looking for the double touch, but not going to find it there. Jonah on the sidewall, getting caught up in the play, and should be able to get a block here as well, and does so. It's over to that left-hand sidewall. Capo up in the air, doesn't have the boost to get back to it. Actually look for the bump on Jackalus there. Shooty trying to find his way past Jonah, but nothing doing. Curbs in the midfield. Jonah almost finding him. Curbs does actually get a dunk on Bright Ollie. It's being held up in the corner. Capo retreating to the midfield, trying to pass over to Jonah on that left-hand side there. Bright Ollie just trying to get forwards, but the team right now for Cardiff just looks a bit disjointed. They're out of boost as well. They're not managing their rotations efficiently. A lot of things are going awry for Cardiff, and Aston are a controlling force at the moment.
Yeah, the ball's just been in this blue half more than it's been in the orange by it seems a substantial margin as well. And Curbs again just looks for any sort of touch here. Not gonna work it into the opponent's box immediately, but the pressure's still up. Any boost that you see Cardiff having, they're gonna have to use it immediately just to make sure that there's no shot, there's no center coming in from the opponents. And Jackalus can now chip this over one, wants to force it past the second, but that won't be the case. Cardiff again going to be forced into an odd position by Capo's 50, and then again that clear downfield. Now Curbs has the catch. It's a great one at that, actually off the sidewall. Jackalus can get to this, and Jonah should have a full tank of boost and the ball to work with, getting around the opponents. A nice fake, maybe around Shooty as well. No, a good read, and well, there's chances here, there's opportunities. We're not seeing nearly as many shots. It's 5 shots for Aston, but only 1 for Cardiff. Neither team really able to pierce the seal on the opponent's goal, aside from that one monster 50 that we saw earlier.
Yeah, although this might be a chance. Jackalus forced into a save. Bright Ollie with a nice big clear. Curbs is going to struggle to reach this one and doesn't make contact. Jonah as well, left in an awkward spot by that miss from his teammate. Curbs touching it forwards and Jonah intercepting, asking a question of the defense, but clear coming through. Shooty on the ball in the midfield, being given a lot of space. Bright Ollie as well takes a shot, but it is not on target. Cardiff need to be more clinical on offense when they get these chances because they're really not being given a whole lot of them.
Yeah, like you say, it's just for that team that is trailing in goals, we never seem to see them having a high shooting percentage. You know, they can maybe get one goal off of 5 or 6 shots, which isn't what you're looking for at all. Just those players, you know, that barely shoot, but they've got those 50, 60, 70% shooting conversion rates. That's what wins you games, wins you series. You can play that supportive role. You can play really intelligently and then just be there for your teammate and have your teammates be there for you as well whenever they know there's an opening. And it's just about finding that opening and threading that needle, something that we've really seen Cardiff struggle to do, let alone find an opportunity to shoot. And there might be a chance here, actually. All 3 Aston players having to retreat. There could have been a shot there, but no one from Cardiff ready to go for the shot. Instead, again, Bright Ollie and Shooty have to combine on this back line. Shooty actually gets a very nice 50. Jonah, interesting position. What a pinch out. And again, Bright Ollie off the backboard. Jackalus can't get the touch, and that, it looked like it could have been dangerous, but no, mitigated again. A good counter-attack as well. Maybe even looking for that second. There's only 25 seconds left in this game, even less so now. And if we don't see a goal in this push, you have to imagine, actually, that we're going to see Aston go up 2-0, but in 2 completely different games.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, actually. It has been a very different game, but it looks like we are heading for the same outcome unless Cardiff can pull something together. Shooty was up for it, but Caffo with the block. Curbs now sending it to the corner. Jackalus needs to keep this ball up, but he has done so. Bright Ollie going for it, trying to keep it up, but bit of miscommunication there. Aston, 2 games in a row. That one not as convincing as the first, it must be said. 6-0 to 1-0. Cardiff have definitely made that a much closer affair, but I feel like Cardiff are more holding on than actually being competitive and looking like they can win the series. I don't know how you feel about it.
It's weird. Aston didn't seem as dominant in that game.
Sure.
But even though they weren't as dominant, Cardiff didn't then make up the difference. You know, it wasn't Cardiff's brilliant stops. It wasn't the fact that, Aston went from, you know, like a 90% output to like a 60, and then Cardiff have made up that extra 30% and put it onto theirs. Cardiff stayed at the same level of not that good, despite Aston's inability to again unlock that top reach that they had in the first game. So the team that can perform consistently in this game more than anything seems to be my favorite. You know, Cardiff, they've got opportunities, and actually Curbs has come out with the meme Scarab, sorry. So maybe a mind game, maybe just trolling, trying to enjoy it himself, and this could be interesting.
Could be interesting indeed, especially if Cardiff start to show the form that they have shown previously. Like, you know, we're writing off Cardiff here, but Cardiff are a much better team than what we've seen in these 2 games so far. And they have proven that before. They're not showing that tonight. And game 3 is going to be do or die for them. And it's also realistically going to be do or die whether they make it into that open playoffs bracket. They should still be comfortably in the the prize playoffs. They should comfortably be in the open playoffs. But yeah, if they lose this series, they can say goodbye to their hopes of getting in it to those prize playoffs. Aston, they have had a bit of a shaky night, but a win here, they still might be able to find a way through.
It's going to be tough, no doubt. And, well, these next 3.5 minutes are going to be tough for every single player on the pitch. Jonah nearly had that. Jonah and Curbs, actually, they're going to get a demo each there. And somehow lessen the defense to only a single player, and yet they still can't strike. Curbs and Jonah again, actually, going to double commit there. That seemed relatively easy to just stay your lines on, but instead, some good pressure. We're seeing a lot of high field pressing from Cardiff. Now Curbs downfield. Jackalus has to get the boost and the touch. Can get both. It's not going to be the greatest immediate clearance, but now off to the sidewall, there's going to be a waiting Bright Ollie, and again, Jackalus can just get there. We're seeing so much pace. It doesn't even seem frantic. It just seems
No
like
way.
they're playing fast and confidence curbs. The idea was there, the execution not quite so. And even though Aston, they haven't scored, Cardiff, they seem good on defense. They seem to be working towards chances in offense as well. This game 3 could get very spicy very quickly.
Yeah, you do say that, but I want to counter your point there by saying that Cardiff in 2.5 games of Rocket League are still yet to score, which is worrying. Very worrying. I mean, Aston, their offense has not looked as good as previous, but yeah, Cardiff haven't scored a goal. That's kind of important in Rocket League.
That's usually a biggie. I mean, I was waiting for you to say that, and a caster's curse, and they'd immediately go
No,
off
that
by,
would
like,
never
by
happen.
2 or 3 up to kick a goal. But no, they stay consistent, and yeah, their defense seemed better. They were working with a lot more cohesion. But yeah, like you said, if they can't score, then something needs to change. That's something, of course, being their offensive output, which seems pretty low right now. So they'll put this one into the opponent's box, try and keep some sort of pressure up. Bright Ollie can't get the best landing, which means that this is going to be put way too far back. Jackalus and Shooty connecting once more over one player. Who's going to get there? I think both of them want to go for this. No, the team pinch not going to be coming into fruition there. Bright Ollie again needs the clearance. Curbs can get it right back. Shooty, a nice catch, but there's going to be way too many players for him to manage. This is flicking
up
towards the opponent's nest, and no, we're still not going to see a goal for Cardiff, accidental or not, just yet.
Jonah in possession, into the air, gets a flip reset, uses it as well, and over the top of one, but 2 players for Cardiff back. But has the defense been broken here? Bright Ollie in the right place there. Caffo infield pass to absolutely nobody, apart from Jackalus in the corner picking that one up, but only for a second or so. Bright Ollie as well.
The idea.
He looked for the bump on it, couldn't get the bump, but the threat of the demo there was so great from Curbs in that scarab that Bright Ollie had to jump and let the ball roll past him into the far corner.
Honestly, it sounds dumb, but when you're going for a demo at the goalie, you're not going for the demo, you're just going for the bits of grass where the defender needs to... Oh my god, they've scored!
They've done it!
Interrupts me, I don't care, cut me off all you want, Jackalus, cut me off all you want. Cardiff, they've scored a goal, they've equalised, and with only a minute left, doesn't matter about these demo strategies and how you properly go for a bump on the goal line, no. They've scored, they're back in this series, they're showing they do know how to put the ball in the net.
I wouldn't go as far to say they're back in this series.
They're back in the game at least, to go with that
They're back in the game, yeah, sure. But, oh, here comes
give it a second, oh my goodness.
Oh, he saved it,
Shooty.
Shooty saved it. Okay, right, we have a game on our hands at the very least, and I don't think we could have really hoped for much more, because Cardiff have looked lackluster all series. Maybe we head to an overtime, and this is where the game then starts to really pick up pace, and Cardiff maybe actually start to pick themselves up and go, okay, look, we've given you 2 games. We're not in an ideal situation, granted, but we are as good as you. That's what I want to be watching here.
Yeah, it's worrying about game after game, minute after minute, you know, however you want to play it. You can compete and you can play very well. Curbs, that would have been a very nice, very nicely lofted goal, but not quite. Bright Ollie downfield, like you say, overtime looming. Jackalus wants a wonder touch, won't be able to be pulled out, and instead again downfield now. Anyone going for this? Everyone seems to be inverted, wrong side of the pitch. No, that hits the floor. And overtime, first overtime of the night, actually, I believe we've had, and it should be a thriller. It's going to be a horrible. There we go. Thank goodness. It's stated. The games continue. Rocket League is still on the cards.
Here's Curbs trying to get the touch. Instead, misses the ball but gets the boost. Down from Jonah. Curbs with a nice little touch away. That's leaving themselves a little bit exposed at the back there. Curbs once again playing a disruptive role. Caffo with a flick over the top of one. Bright Ollie at the near post makes the save, but it's open. Caffo just has to secure it. But he was facing the wrong way. Now Jonah picks it up. It has definitely been Aston so far in this overtime. Jonah with the air dribble and the flip as well, but the save from Jackalus, who is now barreling towards the far end. Doesn't have any boost left though, as Curbs picks it up on that left-hand sidewall. Into the midfield, all fakes out one, does Curbs. Can he get past the other 2? Not quite. Shooty Over to the wall, Jonah into the midfield for Caffo. Could this be it? Caffo wide of the mark, but they have overcommitted. Jonah's going to have to make it all the way back here, and thankfully for him, the counter-attack from Cardiff not materializing.
Yeah, and it's looking still, as much as Cardiff, they haven't got too many shots on. They still seem as solid as you could ask, really good in their own defensive third, their own half, forcing the ball out. If you look at actual possession and where the ball's been in the field, it's split pretty 50-50, I'd say. Maybe sort of you're looking at a 60-40 in favor of Aston. They've had just that bit more pressure, but small mistakes like that could start to crumble the attack that we're seeing mounted from Aston. Instead, they're forced onto defense, and now again, having to try what is upfield. Caffo now. Jonah wants to combine with him. The idea of a demo will be there on 2 players. Curbs gets the third instead. No one going to be backfield until we see once more the rotations come out. Jackalas has no boost, so this clear can be easily retaliated and put right back over him. Now Curbs wants to catch. No, he doesn't. He wants to put it over everyone, just forcing the save. The save, as much as it's forced, it won't be pulled out. And Curbs, he pulls up in the meme Scarab, and he still manages to put this game to bed in that. There were times where I thought, can he, could he? There were a few fumbles, but no, he puts this to bed, and it's 3-0 sweep, just like that.
Aston 3-0 sweep, and with that, they will put themselves into the tiebreakers. There's a couple of other teams that have done the same as well. Edinburgh 3-0ing Glasgow Grizzlies, who started out the evening so well with a win over Lincoln B, but sadly losing their remaining 2 series. But Edinburgh will be into the tiebreakers. Leeds 3-0ing Lincoln B also puts Leeds into the tiebreakers. And Roehampton 3-0 against Kent will cement them as seed 1. They've only lost 1 series for the entirety of the Swiss. So once again, a dominant performance from Roehampton in the Swiss stage in Newell. And maybe we'll see them at the LAN again with a performance like that. Maybe they'll be trying to make amends for their 3rd place finish in the winter split.
Of course, yeah. There's some storylines. You're seeing the teams that were there previously. They're back in. They're back in the prize playoffs. They haven't qualified for LAN, but they're in a position they can make those runs. And those teams, like Loughborough, that was 4th, I believe, in the prize playoffs, losing out in a game 7 against the eventual winners UEA, only just not to make that LAN. They were so close, and yet couldn't quite cross that threshold. They now qualified in what are they, 2nd seed somehow to the prize playoffs. They're going to be on a different side of the bracket from Roehampton, who took them down before. And there's so many opportunities now you're looking at, and we've got a couple weeks before the in-person final of some going to be week-on-week better and better Rocket League, where these top teams in all of the UK are going against each other. And, the storylines that we're seeing that start to advance are going to be amazing.
Well, that is all for round 3, and we will be throwing to a very short break. We will be coming back, though, with an interview from somebody.
We'll work that out for you very soon.
Yeah, I haven't been told yet, but we will be back shortly with an interview. So your chance to hear from the players what kind of emotions they are experiencing tonight. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello, everybody, for the final time, and welcome back to the 5th week of the Swiss stage of the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. And we have just seen our final round of the Swiss stage, and that was Aston beating Cardiff. And we are joined by none other than Jonah here from
really can make that difference.
Honestly, I haven't looked too much at the top three teams or the the tiebreakers bracket, but
do you want me to list them for you?
yeah, it'd be great if you could.
So, tiebreaker teams are Lancaster, Leeds, yourself, Loughborough B, Loughborough C, and Edinburgh.
So I'm not too sure if we faced against many of these teams because we kind of made sort of had to floor our way up the league. But,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will give us a hard time. But honestly,
If
I think
you've
our
got
team's made
confidence, you can just say that. You know, if you
Yeah,
think
I mean-
if you think you can take them all, then have that confidence. Start
Yeah,
talking some smack.
I mean, our team's made up of like two low GC2s, one high GC1, and then a GC3. But we've been beating some SSL teams, so I think we can honestly have a good shot at any SSL team, really.
Well, there are 2 spots left, so 6 teams in a tiebreaker from 7th to 12th, and obviously 7th and 8th makes it in. So you're currently 9th, based on your opponent match win percentage. I mean, who have you played out of those that you've done particularly well against, and who have you played out of the teams that I listed that you maybe have struggled with in the past, but maybe you feel like you could beat them on your day this time?
So I think was Warwick included in that? Because we played Warwick.
No, Warwick have made it.
Made it. Gotcha. Yeah. I guess I think Lancaster.
Yeah.
I think we struggled against them a bit, but I think we could give it another go. You know, we can always the stream buff does hit real if we're ever on stream. Get me on. I'll
Sure,
play better.
sure. Maybe not for Cardiff, but sure.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I think I haven't got too much to say on the other teams, but I'm sure they're very amazing.
That's fair. I
Give us
mean,
a run.
you'll work it out. You know, you'll play them, and hopefully you'll win. So, also, so you mentioned your team made up of, you know, a bit of a mismatch, not necessarily all 2,000 MMR SSLs. What is like the team cohesion, the chemistry? Because obviously, if you're not at that necessarily top level of rank or skill, it's got to be a lot more about how you work as a you know, as 3 players. What's that like? Is the chemistry there? Do you feel good with each other, or is it sort of it's working, you're just surprised that it's all piecing together?
Absolutely. I think me and my teammate Caffrey have good pass plays. We link up quite a lot. And then like our GC3 Kirby, he's so solid. He's really good at solo plays. He's sort of like the core of the team. If he's not playing well, we don't really play well either. So it's kind of there's a lot of pressure on him. But yeah, honestly, I think we're working on team plays quite a lot now. Because, you know, to beat these higher ranked teams, we need to be better as a team, not better as individuals.
Were you feeling the pressure tonight? Obviously, you came into this week with the potential to get to the tiebreakers. Were you feeling pressure? Were you nervous, or did you come into this week feeling confident we can make this, and it was all just a walk in the park?
Honestly enough, I had no idea we were up for up for Colin 5 with the tiebreaker.
Right.
We honestly just try to play our best each week. We aren't really after money or yeah getting views on Twitch, but we kind of just play each week do as best we can. Yeah, that's about it really. Just for fun.
So looking at the tiebreaker and in general, whether it's, you know, it's this competition, you know, looking forward or in the past, what are your expectations? Is it just like you say to play as best you can, or do you sort of give yourself a benchmark, something to aim for?
Yeah, I guess we've never really given ourselves a goal. We're still a really new team, and we haven't actually, you know, got this far in a new NSE. So this is actually like a really good good starting point, I guess. A good, like, this is sort of our goal, really. We didn't really think we'd come this far, I guess. But I guess the goal now, yeah, see how far we can get.
I can just say, by the way, as I'm watching a spreadsheet being filled in front of my eyes, that you'll be playing Edinburgh in the first round of the tiebreakers, which is happening on Saturday, not on stream, unfortunately, but that will decide who goes to the playoffs. So you're playing Edinburgh, and if you beat them, you are then playing Leeds. Think you're gonna have any problems with any of those, or is it gonna be plain sailing all the way into the playoffs?
I think we played N before. Could you remind me of their team name?
Edinburgh Eclipse.
Clips, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I feel like we have played them. I think we won actually, maybe.
Okay, good
It's not
sign.
to check my
Good sign.
history, but yeah, I think I'm confident going to the tiebreaker matches.
Fantastic. Well, I think we're gonna say goodbye to Jonah here. Thank you very much for coming on and talking to us and sharing how your evening went. And I think that is going to be pretty much everything. Orksy, any final remarks from you?
I mean, yeah, obviously congratulations to Jonah and Aston in general. Looking at how this is shaped up, it's a bit rocky. You know, UEA, they've managed to take back now a top 2 seed again. Loughborough demoted from that second. Loughborough, looking at their opponent win percentage, they had some very tough matches, but it seems to have evened out well enough. I'm looking at the tiebreaker teams. Somehow there's 3 Loughborough teams in the top 12. That's ridiculous. I'm not sure how they've managed to field such strong players. without loads of scholarships or something like that. And well, yeah, we've seen Warwick back up there, AUE, Roehampton, the top 3 from the last split. They've all managed to get themselves a top 6 for seeding. It's looking good, genuinely. It's shaping up to be some very good Rocket League, and I am really excited. The anticipation just to see these next few weeks of Rocket League shape up should be brilliant.
Well, it's been a fantastic evening of Rocket League, and we will be back same time, same place for the first week of playoffs. But thank you very much for watching the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. And a huge thank you to our sponsors, Prime Video, Prime Student, and Omen for making this all possible. We will see you again, same time next week. Have a good one.